Welcome to Jurassic Park.
What you're about to hear isn't just another film analysis. This is 2 weeks of obsessive thinking, rewatching, and feeling every single emotion this franchise has put me through across 3 decades. I've lived with these movies. I've grown up with these movies. And I just walked out of Jurassic World Rebirth this last Monday. And I need to talk about what this franchise means, not just as entertainment, but as a journey through wonder, corporate greed, missed opportunities, and finally, redemption. Spoiler warning: there will be full spoilers and detailed plot synopsis for Jurassic World Rebirth in the final section of this analysis video, so consider yourself warned. We're going to go through all 7 films chronologically, but this isn't about ranking them or nitpicking plot holes. This is about understanding how each film either honored or betrayed the sacred promise that Steven Spielberg made to us in 1993, that movies can make you believe in magic. Because here's the thing: Jurassic Park set expectations that almost nothing has ever matched. And over the past 2 weeks, I've been trying to figure out why some of these sequels work and some of them don't. Let's start with the truth. Alan Grant's first look at that Brachiosaurus is one of the most iconic and one of the most beautiful scenes in all of cinema. Not just dinosaur movies, not just blockbusters, but all of cinema. But here's the genius of Spielberg's direction: we don't see the dinosaur first. No, the first thing we see is Alan Grant's expression and shock of seeing the dinosaur. Then him turning Ellie's head around and her standing up and being shocked by the dinosaurs. And then he cuts to the dinosaurs. We don't see the dinosaurs until after they see the dinosaurs. That's how great Spielberg's direction is. He does he knows that keeping the dinosaurs a secret just for a few more seconds and showing their expression of it, they would make our expression so much more stronger because we waited to see the dinosaurs. When that reveal happens and the John Williams music just elevates it so much higher, that's not just filmmaking. That's spiritual. That's just everything. Like, it is the most beautiful, most iconic shot we've gotten out of all Jurassic Park. Out of all the Jurassic movies, that's still the best moment out of all of them. That shot reaches into your soul and reminds you why you love movies. It's pure wonder made visible. And here's why this moment is so crucial to everything else that comes afterwards. Spielberg understood dinosaurs are not monsters, they are just animals. They deserve respect, not fear. They deserve all, not just adrenaline. This one shot established the emotional and ethical foundation of the entire franchise. What makes Jurassic Park still untouchable is its perfect mix of horror, comedy, wonder, and genuine emotion. A tone that none of the other films ever quite match. The kitchen raptor scene still gives me chills. The way they problem solve, test boundaries, learn. That's terrifying because it's intelligent. The dinosaurs are intelligent.
Clever girl.
Clever girl isn't just a great line. It's character development in two words, two single words. Because Muldoon is finally respecting the dinosaurs even as it kills them. Every dinosaur reveal is earned. It feels like it's earned. The Gallimimus Stampede, I think that's how you pronounce them. I have no idea. I may mispronounce this, but the Gallimimus Stampede, the sick Triceratops, even that first T Rex roar, each one builds on the last. And it makes it feel like it's actually earned. And then the actual relationships between Grant, Sattler, and the kids, when Grant chooses to protect Tim and Lex, it's not just plot development, it's character transformation. You feel the love and the fatherly role of Grant towards the end of the film. Even though at the beginning of the film he says he hates kids and he tries to scare the one kid with the claw. But he at the end of the film he does turn out to love and want to protect Tim and Lex at all costs. The genius of Jurassic Park is that it will never let you forget humans' attempt to control nature will always be doomed. Hammond isn't evil, he's just naive. He genuinely believes that he could package wonder and sell it safely. But nature doesn't care about your business plan. It doesn't. It will always take back over. When that T Rex breaks through the fence, when the Raptors systematically shuts down all the park's defenses, when life literally finds a way, that's not chaos. That's inevitable. And Spielberg films it with the respect it deserves. This original film set the tone for everything I expected from this franchise. All in reverence for nature, not action just for the sake of spectacle. Characters who react like real people would react. Dinosaurs treated as living creatures, not video game bosses. Flying away from the island as the what are they? The pterodactyls are flying side by side with the helicopter. The John Williams music starts to rise and play. It's just beautiful. It's the perfect metaphor that nature will always win. We got to witness something extraordinary. Extraordinary. But like always, alright. Now let's move on to Malcolm's movie. The Lost World is much darker than the original, but it actually lets Jeff Goldblum shine. Ian Malcolm isn't just the comic relief anymore. He's the moral center. He's the guy who survived the first island and knows exactly how dangerous corporate greed can be. I found this one wild and fun in a completely different way than I found the original. It's angrier, it's more cynical about human nature, and that San Diego ending sequence, it's completely insane. But it works because it's the logical conclusion that the entire film was leading towards. This might be the most terrifying sequence out of the entire franchise. The way the camera floats above the grass and we see people just vanishing one by one, it's primal fear. It's what happens when a human enters the predator's natural habitat and still tries to take control of it. The raptors aren't being monsters, they're just being raptors. And that's infinitely more terrifying than any monster movie could be. The Lost World is what happens when you take the lessons from the first film and they go completely unlearned. InGen doubles down. They want to bring dinosaurs to the mainland and make a spectacle out of them and profit from the chaos that they created. And when that T Rex gets loose and starts rampaging through the suburbia of San Diego, that's not random destruction. Why I have a soft spot for Jurassic Park 3.
Look, I know Jurassic Park 3 gets a lot of hate, but I have a genuine soft spot for this one. Got the tightest runtime in the franchise. It knows what it wants to be, and it delivers on that promise. Sam Neill's return felt like what a fun, pulpy sequel should be like. Grant is older, more cynical, and wants nothing to do with dinosaurs, which is fair, fair. And then he gets tricked into another rescue mission, like the universe is refusing to let him start. That Spinosaurus is genuinely terrifying and one of the best creature designs in the franchise. When it takes down the T Rex in that opening fight, it's establishing new rules. Just a retread of previous films. There are new threats, new challenges, and new ways to die. And that bone ringing inside of its stomach is both absurd and deeply unsettling. It's the perfect encapsulation of Jurassic Park 3's B movie sensibility. Jurassic Park 3 doesn't try to be more than it is. It's a straightforward monster movie that respects its characters, but also doesn't forget to treat dinosaurs as animals and not attractions. It's honest about what it is. It respects its characters, and it actually delivers on what it promised. I still think Jurassic Park 3 is in the top three because of this reason.
When Jurassic World came out, not gonna lie, I was entertained at the time. The spectacle works, the nostalgia hits, and they were genuinely fun moments. But looking back now, especially after seeing what Rebirth just accomplished, I realize how Jurassic World completely missed the point of the original trilogy. The theme park setup that should have been terrifying, Hammond's dream, finally realized. Instead, it becomes validation. So look how cool it is when the park actually works. Look how cool it is with all these families enjoying weaponized nature. The fundamental problem with Jurassic World is that it turns dinosaurs into video game bosses instead of natural wonders. Or animals, just animals. Like dinosaurs are animals. But instead, you had to mutate them, turn them into video game characters that, yeah, why? Just why? The Indominus Rex isn't a creature, it's a gimmick. It's been designed by a committee to hit different marketing demographics. Yeah, sure, Owen's Raptor posse, or whatever you want to call them, sounds cool. In theory, it sounds cool. But it's not grounded in any kind of realistic relationship between humans and animals. These raptors have just been reduced to action movie sidekicks. Yeah, while the climactic battle between the Indominus Rex, the T-Rex, and all the raptors are visually fun, it just represents everything wrong with today's modern blockbuster movie thinking. It's spectacle without meaning, action without consequence, nostalgia without understanding what made the original great in the first place. Jurassic World leaned far too heavily in the blockbuster action and nostalgia baits instead of asking the hard questions about corporate responsibility and humanity's relationship with nature. My least favorite. Need to be honest with you. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is probably my least favorite movie out of this entire franchise. Not because it's technically incompetent, because there are genuinely great moments scattered throughout, but it feels like a betrayal of everything else the trilogy stood for, especially the very first Jurassic Park. That opening, though, is one of the most atmospheric, most beautiful openings, one of the most horrifying openings to any of the movies I've seen. It's spooky, it's tense, and it builds actual dread. For about 10 minutes at least, I thought we were getting a proper Jurassic Park film. But then,
Friends and then get the hell out of here. You want to come with us?
We could use a friend too.
the auction sequence made me genuinely angry. I have never been that angry at any movie, but that sequence makes me ferocious. Watching dinosaurs get caged, abused, sold like property, that's not entertaining. That's not entertainment. That's not thrilling. That's just heartbreaking. And the film tries to take that heartbreak and turn it into a spectacle. It's just everything that Jurassic Park should not be. That volcanic destruction sequence, watching that Brachiosaurus die as the other cast members are leaving the island, and the camera turns back on the island, and we see the Brachiosaurus that I think is supposed to be the very first dinosaur that we see in Jurassic Park. Seeing him die and burn alive, that is not fun. That is not entertaining. That's just pure that's just pure emotional manipulation. Sorry. Sorry. I I get emotional every time I think about that volcano scene. And the fact that that scene even exists at all is just a total disservice to the franchise. I don't even think John Williams' music should have been included in that film. They should not have gotten the rights to be able to play John Williams' beautiful score at the end of that film, even if it was just during the credits of the film. Should not have been included. Not with that devastating sequence. Not while they're not while they're showing animal cruelty on the big screen. The movie did not deserve the rights to play that score. You don't get to include such gratuitous animal cruelty that you're showing as a spectacle and then expect John Williams' sacred compositions to elevate that. It just doesn't work. The Maisie clone twist felt very dumb to me at first. It seemed like some sci-fi nonsense just thrown in there to justify a sequel. But after watching Dominion for a second time, I at least now have respect and admiration for her connection with Blue's daughter Beta. There's just something very meaningful about two artificial beings. Like Beta should not be able to be born because Blue was made artificially, and and all the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park are women. They wouldn't have kids, and somehow they still do. So Beta shouldn't even be a thing, and she is. And Maisie is now also, like, you find out towards the end of the film that she's a clone, so she shouldn't be possible either. So it's just something very meaningful about those two having a connection and having just a sense of protectiveness and like their family is what I'm trying to say. Like they look out for each other throughout the entire film and their family. So yeah, there's just something very meaningful and very beautiful about it. And I know I've talked a lot of shit on Fallen Kingdom over the past few years, but that Indoraptor scene in the mansion towards the end of the movie, that actually brings genuine horror and thriller vibes like the original Jurassic Park. I just wish the entire Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom movie was as thrilling as that sequence or as thrilling as the opening sequence. But those two sequences do not justify this movie enough for being for even existing. But I will give it that the Indoraptor scene in the mansion is very thrilling. They had real tension, real stakes, and genuine real fear. But it's all in service of a story that fundamentally misunderstood the original story of Jurassic Park and what made it special. Better than Fallen Kingdom. Dominion is definitely far better than Fallen Kingdom, and it actually tries to respect the dinosaurs more than its immediate predecessor. It's still messy, don't get me wrong, but it feels like the filmmakers were trying to course correct after the disasters of what Fallen Kingdom was. That cowboy moment where Owen is rounding up Parasaur, that was very fun. And it immediately shows that humans and dinosaurs can coexist and can live with one another. It doesn't. It feels natural. It doesn't feel exploitative like Fallen Kingdom was. They even take this a step further in Jurassic World Rebirth, which we will be getting into here in just a few moments. Who I wasn't expecting to see was Caleb Huron. Not expecting a cameo from him playing some scientist in the Jurassic Park, any of the Jurassic Park movies. I wasn't expecting him to make an appearance as a cameo. Caleb Huron. Yeah. It was just genuinely hilarious seeing him in the movie. Dominion finally brought back a little bit of the cast magic. They brought back the original cast. Even if the execution was a little messy, Grant, Sadler, and Malcolm, all three of them, still have a lot of chemistry together. I love seeing Goldblum and Sam Neill. Grant always get jealous when Malcolm starts hitting on Sadler. It's always hilarious. But yeah, it's fun to see the original cast. They still represent the scientific ethics and moral center that the franchise needs. Unlike its predecessor, this movie, Dominion, is actually trying to say something meaningful about coexistence, about responsibility, and about the consequences of our actions. It didn't always succeed, but at least it was trying. Fallen Kingdom, that was just heartbreaking. So devastating. So devastating. Fallen Kingdom just should not exist. Now moving on to the true successor of Jurassic Park. We are moving on to Jurassic World Rebirth. This is my second favorite film of this franchise. I'm pretty sure. I like I like Jurassic Park 2 and 3. Don't get me wrong. But I like this one even more. This one actually feels like Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic Park 1 blended together. And I love it. I love Jurassic World Rebirth. I can't wait to go back and watch it again now that it's officially out. I can't wait to go back and watch it. Man, like he made Rogue One, he made Last Jedi, he made the 2014 Godzilla, he made The Creator. That was a few years ago, I think like 22 or 23, I think was when that came out. Might have been last year actually. I can't wait to see what else he brings to this franchise. Man has proven himself to be one of the most visually gifted blockbuster directors to ever work, especially with spectacle films. Like he is very good at spectacle films. Like we've got Godzilla, got a giant fucking titan that he works with. Yeah, the human side of that movie gets a little boring at times, but he got a lot better. And the human stories for this one, I feel like, is much better than the human side of the Godzilla movies. Yeah, he is great at making spectacle films. And Jurassic World Rebirth is his masterpiece. Like I said in my last review, this is peak cinema. Jurassic World Rebirth is peak cinema. This is the first Jurassic film since the original to truly respect the dinosaurs, to understand what made Spielberg's vision so powerful, and to build on that foundation instead of just mining it for nostalgia. And the decision to shoot on actual film instead of digital makes the greenery pop way more vividly than the majority of the films in the franchise, especially the Jurassic World franchise. This is so beautiful. This movie is meant to be watched on the big screen. They didn't make it in IMAX, which I'm sad about, but that's because they shot it on film. And it is meant to be shown in theaters. It is so beautiful. I would recommend to go watch it just to see how beautifully shot it was. These characters are actually living in. It makes us feel like we're more connected to them because of how vivid and how beautiful and profound movie is, and how it decided to shoot different perspectives. Yeah, I just love everything about this film. Like it actually brings it back to how the original Jurassic Park made me feel. It returns to the thriller horror roots of the original Jurassic Park film. And it did it without making it feel like a copy of the the original script. It's Gareth Edwards who understands that you can honor the original while still making it new. The film becomes a masterclass in tension and in character development. The family gets separated from the other group again, like they were already separated. Then they joined up on the boat. Then they got to the island. Then they separated again. So you go family as one group and the scientist as the other. So when they split off, the family kind of get into some trouble. Well, both groups do on their little adventure trying to make it back to the scientist. They run into quite a few dinosaurs. Some of them are cute, not gonna lie. Some of them are cute and adorable, and wish I could have as a pet. And the others are pretty terrifying. Pretty terrifying. But the young daughter uh, that gets I forget the dinosaur's name. I think it's Dolores. She gets a pet dinosaur and names her Dolores on her little adventure. That that was just pure magic. Like so adorable seeing that that little dinosaur Dolores following around the family. It was like the original. It treats the dinosaurs like actual animals and not attractions. And like Jurassic Park 3, it knows what it is trying to be, and it actually delivers on that promise in a tight, focused narrative. Edwards brings that same sense of wonder and scientific curiosity that made Alan Grant such a beloved character, but he brings it with new, fresh characters like Jonathan Bailey's character, and it just feels so authentic and grounded within this movie. The film captures that perfect balance of thriller, horror, and awe that somehow the franchise lost along the way. When the characters encountered the dinosaurs, they react like real people would. Yes, with fear, but also with a underlying tone of wonder and awe that reminds you why these these creatures are not just dangerous, but they're pretty magnificent. Like they're wonderful creatures. Dinosaurs are animals. Let's not forget that. The humans treat these animals like shit. Well, humans treat other humans like shit too, but these are just animals. Again, Fallen Kingdom should not have happened. Edward strips away all the corporate theme park bullshit and actually brings us back to what the Jurassic Park films were supposed to be all along. A thriller, humans encountering things that we cannot control. Dinosaurs aren't performing tricks or doing what they're told. No, they're just being dinosaurs. And that's terrifying. Tension is earned through character development, but also slow, steady pacing, careful pacing, not through manufactured jump scares or over the top action action sequences. No, it is steady, careful pacing that makes the tension so much better. It's character driven terror with real emotional stakes. The same formula that made the kitchen sequence in the original so good. What Edwards understands, but what the Jurassic World trilogy forgot, is that wonder isn't something that you can manufacture. It's not something you can manufacture through big explosions or complex genetic creatures or genetic modification to creatures. No, it comes from respecting the source material, treating the animals, the dinosaurs, as the magnificent creatures they are, and from remembering that the real magic happens in the quiet moments between the terror. Rebirth earns its wonder the same way the original did. Character development through respect from the material and through genuine filmmaking craft that puts story and emotion above the spectacle that is the the theme parkness of it all. We don't need any of that. We got a spectacle of of just the animals living on an island being the animals. We didn't need the spectacle of them being in a theme park. The nature will always win theme hits harder in Rebirth than it has in any of the films since the original. Gareth Edwards doesn't need to lecture us about corporate greed or scientific responsibility. No, we should know that already. Watching these films for the past 30 years, we should know that from the original. He's just retelling us the things that we have forgotten. But he doesn't just lay it out in front of you. No, he tells you through this magnificent story that is Jurassic World Rebirth. Dinosaurs aren't monsters, and they're not attractions. They're survivors, adapters, and above all, forces of nature that humans cannot control. They're beyond human understanding. We cannot control them. That's exactly what this franchise needed to remember. Why this franchise endures. Jurassic franchise endures because at its best, it taps into something fundamental about human nature, our desire to understand the world around us, our tendency to overreach in that understanding, and our capacity for wonder in the face of truly extraordinaires. These aren't just monster movies or corporate blockbusters. They're parables about power, responsibility, and respect as a whole. They remind us that we share this planet with forces larger than ourselves, and that our response to those forces, whether it be fear, greed, or wonder, defines who we are as a species. Steven Spielberg made us a promise in 1993 that movies could make you believe in magic, that spectacle could serve meaning, entertainment could inspire both awe and responsibility. Most of the sequels has broken that promise, but Jurassic World Rebirth has brought it back, or shall I say, renewed it. From that first moment of wonder with the Brachiosaurus to the last chapter of genetic evolution, this franchise has given us more than just thrills and chills. It's given us a mirror to examine our own relationship with the natural world, a cautionary tale about the consequences of playing God, and sometimes a reminder that the most profound response to the impossible is just to simply stand back, take off your hat, and feel grateful for witnessing something truly amazing.